Alright guys, let's talk about Microsoft's E3 press conference. So personally, I thought this was a really entertaining show. The production value was great. The flow of the presentation was very well done. I don't think it being over an hour and 40 minutes really hurt the presentation whatsoever. It all went by pretty fast, and overall the show was very well put together. I think a lot of the stuff they showed too was very exciting, especially in terms of the premieres of the multi-platform AAA third-party titles they actually showed off during the press conference. A lot of those games I'm personally very excited for. So I think that was really great to see those games up on Microsoft's stage. The problem that I have with this press conference and why I think it was a failure for what I think this conference really needed to accomplish is that they really didn't address the first-party situation the way I would have liked to see them do it in terms of exclusive content on their platform. And I think that's the biggest problem with this entire press conference, and it's the biggest missed opportunity because you had a lot of people, including myself, going into this E3, especially after the less than stellar lineup of exclusives in 2017 and the very, very lackluster lineup of exclusives in the first half of 2018 in the form of Sea of Thieves and State of Decay. People were going into this thinking like, okay, this is going to be the press conference where Microsoft shows me their vision for the Xbox platform. I want to see the new content coming out in both the near future as well as their long-term investments. And I think they did a great job in showing off their long-term investments. They invested in some great new studios, but the problem is we're not going to see the fruits of that labor until about 3 or 5 years down the line. That's the biggest issue, but they just didn't address the problem of the lack of content we're seeing right now. Almost every single game, exclusive-wise, that they talked about is releasing in 2019 or beyond, and that is the biggest problem in my mind. Keep in mind, the exclusive lineup for 2018 as it sits right now includes Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Forza Horizon 4. That's it. That's all you're getting in 2018 for Microsoft in terms of exclusive content. That is not acceptable in my opinion. That's why this conference was a complete and utter failure in that regard, and why I think this entire conference as a whole was just mediocre, because when you sit back, when you take away the multi-platform titles, you start to see what this conference really was. It was a way to fluff up the current exclusive situation by trying to make you think, okay, yeah, there's a ton of games coming to the Xbox One. I'm sure a couple of these have to be exclusive. I mean, Microsoft themselves touted this as their biggest E3 presentation ever in terms of the amount of games they were going to show off. So what I want to do now is take a look at the stuff they actually showed during this press conference. And to kick it off, they went with the Halo 6 Infinite teaser trailer. Now this was really cool. At first I thought it had something to do with dinosaurs or something, like maybe a Turok or the new Jurassic World game or something like that. But no, it was Halo 6, and that was really surprising. It was a great way to kick off the show. That means we're probably going to see Halo 6 in 2019. I'm personally very excited, and you saw that Master Chief was standing on a Halo ring. So that is the emphasis of this game. Hopefully that means you are going to be playing as Master Chief throughout the main campaign of this game versus playing as 70% Locke in Halo 5. And I hope in breaking this kind of 3-year development cycle we typically see with Halo, that 343 is using that extra time to really just spend all the necessary time they can on the campaign aspect of Halo 6, because I think Halo 5 did a great job in the multiplayer department. Don't really have too many complaints on that other than the lack of certain modes on launch, but I think they did a good job with the multiplayer. The thing they need to take their time on now is the campaign and get that right, because the Halo 5 campaign was a complete and utter failure in my mind. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to Halo. It's one of the reasons I went and bought an Xbox console in the first place. So that was really cool to start off the show. Next up, Phil Spencer got up on stage, kind of talked about that whole like, oh yeah, unifying gamers is what gaming does and everything like that. Just the typical kind of corporate PR speak. The main takeaway from that was that they were going to show off 50 games, the most they've ever shown off in a E3 press conference in terms of the sheer number. Also, 18 of those 50 games have some form of console exclusivity to the Xbox One, and 15 of those 50 games were world premieres that had never been shown before. But that was really all that was important that he talked about. Then after that, they got into Ori 2, and they showed a trailer and gameplay for that. That game looks phenomenal. I'm very excited for that. I loved the original Ori game. I beat it twice. I played through the regular and definitive edition. I love that game. I'm very excited for Ori 2. I was a little disappointed to see that it was coming out in 2019, but hey, take your time with it. That's a really great game, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really like the changes they've actually made with that game, so that is definitely something I was really happy to see on Microsoft's stage. And after that, From Software actually presented their new game called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I hope I said that right, but that was definitely really interesting to see From Software on Microsoft's stage. Typically in the past, they've gone with Sony just because they have a better relationship with Sony, I think, being a Japanese developer and them actually working on Bloodborne for Sony. So it was really cool to actually see them present a brand new game on Microsoft's stage. Actually thinking about it, I think they actually announced Dark Souls 3 first on Xbox's stage when that game was actually announced. So I don't know, that was really cool. The game looked interesting. It's actually published by Activision, which I think is an interesting choice. But to me, it looked like a mix of Nioh and For Honor. So I'm really interested to see how this game actually plays when it releases. So really cool. Happy to see that on Xbox's stage. More Japanese support. That's always a good thing. Next up, Todd Howard from Bethesda got up on stage. He announced that Fallout 4 is going to Game Pass. Yeah, I know everybody's so excited for that, but whatever. But he also showed a kind of extended look at Fallout 76, and he basically said that it was a prequel to the basically priorly released Fallout games in the series. So if Fallout's your thing, that's definitely cool, and I think they're going to show off the rest of like the Fallout 76 information at Bethesda's actual E3 press conference. So yeah, that was kind of cool to see him there. Nothing really that exciting in terms of an announcement. When I saw him on stage, I'm not going to lie, I thought Elder Scrolls 6, Elder Scrolls 6, Elder Scrolls 6. Wasn't that, it was just Fallout. So that was kind of disappointing. But next up, they showed off this game called Captain Spirit from the developers of Life is Strange. I think it takes place in the same universe. I honestly could not care less about this. Life is Strange was absolute garbage. I hated every minute of it. I played through the game, got the full 1,000 gamer score, but I would never do it again, and I would not recommend the game to anyone. So if that's your thing, whatever, I guess you can be excited, but definitely not for me. I was just cringing the entire time through that trailer. It was really bad for me. So after that, they showed off Crackdown 3. It was the same kind of campaign trailer we saw last year. And this just raised some flags in my head. Like, this is E3, the biggest stage in gaming throughout the year, and you don't show off the mode that is the main attraction in this game, the multiplayer, that features full city destruction. They did not show anything. They didn't show live gameplay. They showed a scripted trailer, and that just sends red flags all the way through my body, just like going, okay, this game is having some serious issues. This game may get delayed again. I would not be surprised if that February release date gets changed or they just scrap the multiplayer, because I think that is the slowdown. They previously cited that they delayed the game in order to improve the visual quality. It looked the exact same to me, I'm not going to lie. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Crackdown. A red flag was raised the second they didn't show any sort of live gameplay on the biggest stage in gaming for one of their biggest games releasing in the near future. So that to me just raises all sorts of red flags, but whatever. Crackdown 3, I actually enjoyed the trailer. Terry Crews is really funny in it, so I don't know. It kind of sparked my interest a little bit just because you can play as him, it looks like. So I don't know. Not exactly hyped for Crackdown 3, but I am a little bit interested to see how it plays out because I was fully expecting to see something on the multiplayer at E3. Like, I am shocked they did not show off the multiplayer. So who the hell knows what's going on with Crackdown at this point. So after that, they showed off Nier Automata, which actually got announced a little bit before the Xbox E3 press conference, but that's awesome. I love that game. I will definitely buy it again when it comes to Xbox because I'm a huge fan of it. I played it on PS4 and PS4 Pro. Fantastic game. If you have not played it yet, do yourself a favor and pick it up when it comes out on Xbox because it is a fantastic game. The way it does storytelling is very unique to anything in its genre, and I think it has something for everybody, honestly. So give that game a shot, and I would definitely highly recommend picking that up. So that's great to see a game like that is making its way over to Xbox. After that, they showed off Metro Exodus. It is obvious that game got a downgrade. I'm not really going to comment too much on it. I'm not a big Metro fan. So if you are, you have that to look forward to, but it definitely looked like it got a visual downgrade. Kingdom Hearts 3. Woo, this was a rough moment for the press conference. I don't know who the hell that was catered towards. I mean, I guess I'm just not the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan or Disney fan in general, so during that I kind of had to look away. Like, it was really bad. I was not a fan of that whatsoever. I think it took up way too much time, but I get it. It's a big game. A lot of people are very excited for it. I'm sure they were very hyped to see that Kingdom Hearts would feature Frozen. I know, one of the most exciting announcements of E3. Yay. So, yeah, that was a very slow moment for me during E3. I kind of had to look away. I kind of glanced at my phone for a little bit. Just, I don't know. That was too much for me, not my thing whatsoever. I really think it took up too much time, but whatever. I'm sure a lot of people really enjoyed it, so I don't fault you for that. Sea of Thieves, they showed the content updates for July and September. Yay, Sea of Thieves, what we all want to see again at E3. I mean, they only showed it for 3 E3s in the past, and we got to see it once again. I mean, come on, really? Does anyone actually care about Sea of Thieves at this point? I don't know. Whatever, I get why they showed it. It was a big investment. It was a big game for them. They want to get people back on playing it because it is a games as a service, so they need more people to play it constantly in order for a game like that to survive. So I understand why they showed it. I just wish they didn't, because I honestly don't give a damn about Sea of Thieves at this point. It's dead to me. Battlefield 5, they literally showed like a 20-second clip. I don't know why EA hyped that up in the slightest. I don't know. It was literally what they showed at their press conference the other day, so complete waste of time, nothing really to note there. Next up, of course, they talked about Forza Horizon 4, a game I'm personally looking forward to. Two kind of key takeaways from the trailer is it's set in Britain, which I think is an interesting setting choice. I was kind of hoping more for that Tokyo leak. I thought that would have been really cool. So I was a little bit let down when it was kind of something as tame as like Britain or something. Not my kind of ideal setting, let's say, but not bad. I mean, it's really cool what they're doing with the dynamic weather and everything like that. But also, I saw dirt bikes in the trailer. Now, this could be one of those special races where, you know, like in Forza Horizon 3, where you race the train, the boat, the helicopters, everything like that in the past games. This could be just one of those races, or they could be implementing dirt bikes into the game. I don't know. I didn't look into it that much. It could be, but that's just something I really noticed. That game is going to be launching October 2nd, 2018. Day and date in Game Pass as well. So that was definitely really cool. I'm a big fan of the Forza Horizon series, so that's a game I look forward to every other year from Microsoft. Now, after that, they got into the whole announcements regarding their new first-party studios that they had just acquired or had just formed. So first up, they talked about Daryl Gallagher, which is the guy from Crystal Dynamics who worked on the new Tomb Raider reboot series. He is actually leading their new studio out in Santa Monica called The Initiative, and we really don't know much about it. This was the studio they were advertising, basically saying it was a quadruple A studio. So we know nothing about what they're working on or when we'll see anything from them, but it was just an announcement they made today. Also, they bought Undead Labs, the creators of State of Decay. If you're a fan of that, that's probably very exciting for you to hear. They also bought Ninja Theory, the people behind games like Hellblade and the recent Devil May Cry reboot. Personally, I enjoyed both of those games, so that's definitely exciting news and a great pickup by Microsoft. They also picked up Compulsion, which, I mean, is okay. That's the studio that made, or is still making, We Happy Few. Not my type of game whatsoever, but I guess it's good to kind of get some variety in there. And they can work on other projects, I'm sure. They probably have a lot of talent that they can direct towards other projects. And then, of course, which already kind of leaked, Microsoft picked up Playground Games, which it was only a matter of time. They should have picked them up, I mean, years ago, honestly. Forza Horizon is the best Xbox One game currently in terms of reviews, and continues to sell extremely well for Microsoft. So this was only a matter of time, but it's exciting that they officially pulled the trigger and picked up Playground Games, and it is officially a first-party studio, and that kind of cements the rumor that they are working on the new Fable game. So it didn't get announced at E3, but we pretty much know it's probably Playground Games that is working on basically the Fable reboot, or whatever you want to call it. So that's definitely exciting. It's great that Microsoft is adding to their first-party lineup. This is nothing but a positive in my opinion. Would it have been nice for them to maybe announce some games that are coming out in the near future alongside these recent pickups of studios? Absolutely, but still, nevertheless, it's great news because it shows they are willing to invest in the future of Xbox as a whole. So that is definitely great. And after that, they showed another trailer for We Happy Few, which was kind of like a flashback to 2 years ago. I never really had interest in that game. It kind of felt like it was out of place. I don't know. I get it's their first-party studio now, but the funny thing is that game's still technically a multi-platform title, so a Microsoft first-party studio is actually making a game that's non-exclusive to the Xbox One, even on console, because it's coming to PS4 as well. Just a fun little fact there. I don't know. It just kind of felt out of place. I didn't really want to see that game again, but whatever. It really wasn't that long of a trailer, so it really wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. Then they touched on PUBG and the recent content and future content updates that have been added or will be coming to the game. Whatever, it was pretty brief. I mean, if you're a fan of PUBG, I'm sure you probably already knew about that, but they just wanted to inform everybody that PUBG is still being supported on console, so that's cool if you're a fan of the game. Then they announced Tales of Vesperia Anniversary, which is a multi-platform title this time around. I know when it initially launched back on the 360, it was actually a timed exclusive, but it's not the case this time. It's coming to all platforms. But I mean, a lot of people have been asking for that. So if you're a fan of this series, that's really awesome. I may check it out. I never actually played it last generation, so who knows? Maybe I'll check it out. But that is actually coming out this winter. So that is a 2018 game you can look forward to. After that, we kind of got into a slow section of the press conference, and that, of course, is The Division 2. Now, I could understand spending this much time and kind of the way they did the gameplay demo for The Division 2 if we had never seen this series before. This was the first entry to the series. This really slow-paced gameplay demo where in the first 3 to 4 minutes, they're just walking through an empty environment, not really interacting with anything, just kind of navigating their way through. Okay, I can understand it, but this is an established franchise. The trailer or gameplay demo should have been much more high action and more entertaining. It was really slow. I was like going, yes, I know how the Division works. Like, I really just wanted to say, I get it. It's in the apocalypse. There's a virus that spread. Everybody's dead. Everything like that, it's like, okay, yes, we already know. Move on. Show us killing some people. Show us how the game's improved. Show us the new features. No, it felt like the Division 1 all over again. And that was definitely a really slow part of the press conference, and it made me wonder, like, why is this the game they're choosing to show off a gameplay demo for? Like, why wouldn't you show off your first-party games? Why didn't you do a Gears 5 gameplay demo? Why didn't you do a Crackdown 3 gameplay demo? Instead, you use The Division, a game that everybody already knows about, and then in doing so, you don't really even show off any new mechanics at the same time. So it was a pretty questionable choice in my opinion, and overall I don't think it really added anything to the press conference. It just slowed down the pacing. I do like the DC setting. That's really cool. That's kind of near where I live, so that's really awesome. I think it's cool to be like going through the nation's capital and everything like that and exploring all the different like iconic landmarks. That's really awesome. I love the setting for this game. I just think they spent way too much time on this when they could have prioritized something else, something that we're kind of unfamiliar with. So then some lady from the Xbox Game Pass department, I guess you want to call it, got up on stage and started talking about the changes to Xbox Game Pass, and basically she explained this whole fast start kind of new algorithm they're implementing where it basically detects which part of a game to download and lets you start that game as soon as possible, and the algorithm is going to constantly improve over time in order to get you in the game as fast as possible while it still downloads in the background. It's a really cool concept. I don't really think it was explained well on the E3 stage, and I think that probably should have been something they saved for either their daily show or just released it in like a blog post or something on Xbox Wire. I don't really think it was very effective explaining that on E3. I think it left a lot more questions than answers. And then she also announced that the Master Chief Collection is coming to Xbox Game Pass. That's something I'm actually very interested in because I was actually just thinking about playing that game again. So glad I don't have to go out and buy it. So that was definitely cool. So after that, we got into the indie reel. I mean, that's basically when I just kind of, nod off and not really care about it. I'm not a big fan of indies, and generally the indie reel is nothing really to note. After that, they showed Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I don't know if it was just me, but that game doesn't look as crisp as Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know. It could just be me. It could just be the gameplay they showed off, but I don't know. I really wasn't impressed by the visuals like I was with Rise of the Tomb Raider running on the Xbox One X. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. But overall, I'm very excited for that game. It's shaping up to be really good. Then they showed off a game called Session, which is a skateboarding game. And when this game was first being shown, before the name actually popped up on screen, I guarantee you 99% of the people watching, including myself, were thinking to themselves, holy crap, Microsoft just locked down Skate 4 as a timed exclusive on Xbox One. This is huge. This is one of the most requested games from EA ever. But no, it turned out to be a game called Session, which I've never heard of before. I've never heard of the development studio behind them. Personally, I'm not interested. I'm not really into skateboarding games. But I think they got everybody's attention with that, and I think there were a lot of people who were let down by that. Then they went into Black Desert Online. They basically kind of showed the story aspect of that and then announced there would be a beta coming in fall 2018, which is cool if you're looking forward to that. Then they revealed Devil May Cry 5. This game looks phenomenal. The graphics look amazing. The gameplay, you already know, is going to be top-notch. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I love Devil May Cry, so that was definitely really awesome to see that announced on Xbox's stage. I cannot wait to play that game whenever it comes out. Then they showed off some Cuphead DLC, and not my thing, don't really care. Then they showed off a indie game by the name of Tunic, which looked like an old kind of Zelda-style game where you play as a fox. Yeah, not my thing in the slightest, but I guess there's an audience for that. It was kind of cool when they mentioned it was made by one dude, a one-man development team, so that's cool, I guess, if you're a fan of those type of games or you're a fan of that art style. I guess that could be your thing, but it was not for me in the slightest. So then they went into a section of this entire press conference where basically Phil Spencer walked out and said, everything from this point on is a world premiere, something that has never been announced before. And the first game they actually revealed was a game called Jump Force from Bandai Namco. I hope I said that right. But basically, in the trailer, it showed characters from Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and then at the very end, Death Note, which got me very excited. I love Death Note. But I don't know, it looked really cool. It looked like they were all fighting each other and everything like that. I have no idea. It was just a cinematic CGI trailer, so we really don't know what the game is about. So that was definitely interesting. I'm a fan of a lot of those series, and I'm sure there's going to be other like anime series in there as well. So that was kind of cool to see, personally. So that's cool that Xbox actually got that reveal at E3 because it shows Japanese developers are hopping on board with the Xbox platform. Then we saw Dying Light 2. This was a highlight of the show. I love Dying Light. It's one of the biggest surprises this generation for me. I've played through the game, I think, 3 or 4 times at this point. I love this game, and I'm very excited for the sequel. I mean, Dying Light was just such a breath of fresh air into the zombie genre. And overall, I just enjoyed every single minute of it, so I cannot wait to see how this sequel improves, and it was awesome to see it on Xbox's stage, and it just came out of nowhere, because I heard no rumors or anything leading up about Dying Light actually being at E3, so that was a complete surprise, and I was very, very excited to see it. Then they showed off a teaser trailer for Battletoads, which is an exclusive title launching in 2019. No gameplay or anything like that. I have no clue what the hell Battletoads is. Apparently it's a big deal among Xbox fans. I've never heard of it. I've never played it. So I have no idea what it's about, but I guess a lot of people are excited for it, so that's awesome. Then they showed off Just Cause 4. Now this game actually leaked a couple days ago on Steam, but nevertheless, I was very excited to see it formally announced. I'm a big fan of the Just Cause series. It's just an over-the-top, just absolute blast of a game to play through. And if you're looking for over-the-top action in an open-world environment with great destruction, you will find nothing better than Just Cause on the market. So, yeah, I was very excited when they announced Just Cause 4. So now we get to one of the lower points in the entire presentation, and that, of course, is the new mobile game, Gears of War Pop. Now, when they first showed the Gears of War logo on screen, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. Here it comes, the next big Gears of War game. But no, it was like a Marcus Phoenix Pop figure. And then they're fighting like Locust Pop figures. I mean, it was really bad. And I was just thinking to myself, don't you dare let this be the only Gears of War announcement we get at E3. Like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing to Gears of War? But just you wait a second. It got even worse from that point on. They then proceed to announce Gears Tactics, a turn-based strategy game that is exclusive to the PC on Windows 10. Yes, Microsoft is now developing AAA or AA quality games exclusive to the PC. Whatever happened to the universal Windows platform, making it seamless to port games from Xbox One to PC and vice versa? I guess that doesn't apply. And what's the deal with PC getting its own dedicated exclusive when Xbox does not get the same. This should have been saved for one of the daily shows or something like that. This should have not been put on the Xbox stage, okay? People are watching this press conference for the sole reason of learning about new and upcoming games for the Xbox platform, not Windows 10. Save it for a separate event. Announce it on the side somewhere. Do not do this when you have a current issue on your platform where Xbox is not getting enough content, but yet you're going to announce a Windows 10 exclusive game from one of the most beloved Xbox franchises of all time. That to me is just nothing more than a slap in the face and just continues to demonstrate how out of touch Microsoft is with their audience at times. And it just put me in an even worse mood leading into the last Gears of War announcement, which of course is none other than Gears of War 5. Now, this should have been one of the most important and exciting parts of this entire E3 press conference. Like I said, Gears of War is one of the biggest and most important franchises on Xbox. A lot of people, including myself, bought an Xbox in the first place to play Gears of War. Gears of War 3 was actually the reason I went out and bought my first Xbox console ever, the Xbox 360, because I wanted to play that game. It's a series I really love, it's a series I enjoy, and it's a series that I look forward to every time it comes out. Now, I could make an entire rant video on what's wrong with this trailer, but I'm just going to go ahead and highlight a few things here. First off, you play as Kate. I hated the new characters in Gears of War 4. I'm going to be completely honest. Marcus's son and the other two, Kate and the other guy, I don't remember their names. They were just that forgettable. I just honestly did not like the new cast of characters. The highlight of that game in terms of the campaign was when Marcus was on screen. Other than that, the campaign was just boring to me and I didn't enjoy it. So I'm not happy to see that basically it is Kate, and I think his name was Dell, it just came to me. It's basically Kate and Dell going on like a buddy mission or whatever to find out what's wrong with her or something. I don't know. I don't like this new direction of the campaign. That's not Gears of War, okay? This looks like Tomb Raider. When I was watching the trailer, I was thinking to myself, am I watching the Tomb Raider trailer? You're playing as a female character in basically an exploratory type game where she's trying to find her way or find a certain thing. I don't know. I was getting Tomb Raider vibes constantly from that trailer, and I'm not necessarily happy with the new direction they're taking. And when I saw a lot of the enemies, I saw some of the weapons she was using, I was thinking like, am I looking at Destiny 2? Am I looking at like some Bungie game or something? I don't know. That it just was really off-putting. It didn't look like Gears of War. It looked like they were trying to make it something that it really wasn't. So, I don't know. I'm not necessarily liking this new direction they're taking in terms of the campaign. It looks like to be moving more and more away from the classic Gears of War experience into this new kind of campaign experience that they were trying to give you with Gears of War 4, and it's just taking it to the next level. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that direction, and Gears of War 5, because of that, just rubbed me the complete wrong way. So Gears of War in this entire event was very disappointing to me as a whole, which is really sad because it's one of the games I really look forward to as an Xbox fan. So then we kind of got the Microsoft infomercial about how Microsoft as a whole is improving gaming as an industry, blah, blah, blah. They talked about their Xbox game streaming service, which will allow you to stream games to your PC, phone, tablet, and TV seamlessly as if you're playing on console. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Game streaming is a complete and utter mess right now. And then towards the very end, they even teased the next generation of Xbox hardware. And this to me was like, oh shit, are they actually going to go ahead and announce this? Because like this whole dark box appeared on screen and Phil Spencer goes, we're deep into development of the next generation of Xbox hardware. So I was thinking, oh shit, are they going to actually show this off and just go ahead and say like, yeah, next gen's coming in 2019? But no, they just kept it kind of secretive and everything like that and kind of cryptic. But it could very well be the case that we see Xbox makes the next generational leap in 2019, because if you really look at the games they've announced so far in terms of exclusives, every single one of them seems to be kind of leaning towards launching in the fall of 2019. So it would make a lot of sense for those games to be both the farewell lineup for the Xbox One as well as the launch lineup for the next generation Xbox. Because don't forget, Microsoft has been talking about how the console generations are all going to be forwards and backwards compatible, so those same games will carry with you. So that'd be a hell of a launch lineup. And I think it's definitely a possibility, and it could fit their narrative very well. And they may try to get the jump on Sony and do what they did with the 360 and basically get a year head start in terms of being out the gate for the next console generation. So we could very well see the reveal of the next generation Xbox next year. I think that would be definitely very interesting to see how it played out. But after that, they basically just end the show with kind of like this whole special effect kind of thing where Phil Spencer's walking off the stage, all the screens kind of glitch out and everything, and it ends with Cyberpunk 2077, which of course is the new IP from CD Projekt Red that is very much anticipated, especially due to the fact how great The Witcher 3 was. So yeah, that was kind of cool. It was very unexpected, and actually in like the whole kind of line of code or whatever they had while the screen was glitching, they gave away like I think over 100 copies of The Witcher 3 or whatever. If you pause the stream at one point, you could actually see a bunch of Xbox codes listed. So that was actually pretty cool. So that was Microsoft's press conference. Like I said, it was overall a really great show. They showed some really awesome games. As you guys can tell, I'm excited for a lot of those games. But it just didn't solve the problems that I was looking for this press conference to solve. But before we get into that, I just want to point something out too. They did not show Minecraft whatsoever. And I was so thankful they didn't. I hate when they show Minecraft at E3. It's one of the cringiest moments there. And it's just always really boring. And it just does no service to the presentation as a whole. But something funny that actually I saw after the fact is this guy tweeted out and said, wait, I just realized Minecraft wasn't even mentioned once in the whole event. I'm a bit disappointed. Hashtag Xbox E3, hashtag E3 2018. And someone by the name of Aubrey Norris, who actually works at Microsoft on Minecraft, tweeted back to him and said, you and this guy at Griffin_gaming, that's me by the way, go follow me on Twitter, quick shameless plug, can go duke it out then over whether or not we should sit E3s out. And I'm just thinking, like, what the hell? Did somebody at Microsoft actually see me, like, comment on this and say that Minecraft has no place at E3 or something? I have no idea where the hell that came from. I've never heard of her before. She doesn't follow me. I don't follow her. It was just kind of nowhere out of the blue. And the dude who actually tweeted doesn't follow me, and I don't follow him either. So completely random, just kind of funny. It's amazing who kind of watches your stuff, but I just thought that was kind of interesting, so I wanted to point that out. But anyway, I thought that was great. They didn't show Minecraft. So yes, Aubrey Norris, you should sit out E3 because Minecraft does not belong on the E3 stage. It belongs at its own event called Minecon for that very specific reason, to make new announcements to your core fan base, okay? That is the perfect place to do so. E3 is not. So I was very happy to see that it was not actually on E3 stage. So big props to Microsoft for that, for getting Minecraft the hell out of there. So overall thoughts. They had a lot of great games. No one's taking anything away from that. This was a fantastic conference. If this conference was in 2015, 2014, where they had a great lineup of exclusive content, I would be singing to the high heavens praises of this press conference. I'd be like, this is one of the best press conferences I've ever seen. They had a great exclusive lineup, and they had a fantastic showing of third-party games that showed off the capability of their console. But that's just not the case. The thing that was missing for me is just the complete lack of first-party, or at least second-party content that's coming out in the near future exclusively to the Xbox One. They're heavily relying on third-party, which I understand because it's cheaper. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to spend any money. They don't have to put any effort in. The game is going to release anyway. So that, to me, is just the biggest problem, because when you have a situation like the one that Xbox is currently in, where people are losing faith in this platform because there is nothing really attracting them to the platform in terms of an experience they can only get on your platform, that is the biggest problem, I think, that Xbox is facing. There's no incentive to go out and buy an Xbox One, an Xbox One X if you already own a PS4 or PS4 Pro, and especially if you own a gaming PC that is somewhat capable, because you will be able to play all those exclusive games anyway on your PC in a better form with free Xbox Live. So that was just the problem. I don't think they showed enough exclusive content. Yes, they announced a lot of great new studios they picked up or have built, and that is fantastic news. I'm not taking anything away from that. That is a fantastic long-term plan. They basically doubled their entire first-party studio lineup. That is great news, but it does nothing for the short-term exclusive situation, which you really needed to address in this press conference. And I think that was one of the major things like people were really hoping to see. So I do think they dropped the ball majorly there. But overall, it was a great conference. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all the different games they showed. They showed a lot of great stuff that personally I am very interested in. So I do think this conference was very effective. This was a gamers conference. If you are a multi-platform owner like myself, you are very happy because you got to see a bunch of great games you're going to be able to play regardless of what platform you pick them up for. And I think that's what's great about E3. Regardless if you own the platform or not, you can still watch all the different press conferences and still walk away with something you are excited for. So I think that was a good service that this conference provided. And I think it was a good show overall, like I said. But I just wish there was more in the sense of exclusive content for the Xbox platform. And that is the biggest issue I had. If I had to rate this conference right now, I would give it a 6 out of 10 just because it lacked so much in the first-party content department. So that's the biggest negative for me, but overall, it was a very great conference and one of Microsoft's better ones in terms of presentation and content. But let me know your thoughts on Xbox's E3 press conference. What would you rate the conference? What was your favorite thing that they showed at the press conference? Do you think that this is one of the better press conferences from Xbox in recent memory? I definitely think so. Do you think that it did need more first-party content, or was that enough for you? Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new, and click the bell for notifications so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter at Griffin_gaming, or click the link in the description below. That is by far the best place to interact with me, and all throughout E3, I'm definitely going to be very active on Twitter, tweeting about my different opinions on all the new announcements and everything like that. So make sure to follow me on Twitter at Griffin_gaming, or click the link in the description below. Like I said before, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.